Hello everyone. So I'm going to be talking about this, not necessarily like vent maybe in a way it's a vent, but it's also kind of like like an update that I'm gonna be doing, kind of like an emergency update or whatever. I don't know. I don't care what it's called, but anyways, I want to be changing my I want to legally change some parts of my full name because for one, and as I mentioned in like several videos back, that me and my dad have this strong frenemy relationship, is because like kind of like we love each other, but at the same time we don't get along. Like we hardly get along. So, and he's a definition of an example of a father who can give tough love. Long story short, he had issues with his parents, aka my grandparents. So I'm gonna be changing my middle name, and I'm going to be adding my mom's last name, which is on the channel on this, because my last name is De Leon, but I'm also changing to Gonzalez because that's my grandma's last name. But my mom was gonna I was gonna do my mom's dad's last name, but they have issues too. So I'm going to just put Gonzalez as that because for one, like I have family in Connecticut whose last name is Gonzalez. Although another of my cousin who where her dad has a different last name, but obviously because my mom's cousin is her mom, so that's why her last name is a different one. So I ain't changing that because I kind of feel that it's kind of a toxic relationship that I've had with my dad. And people are going to I have a few friends who are kind of giving me shit about it, because they feel like, oh, your dad has always loved you, bitch, you don't know what it's like to be with my dad. If you knew what it's like to be with my dad, you'll know that he's a fucking toxic person. So so don't fucking tell me what don't fucking encourage me to not change my last name or don't do anything. Like, it's my choice on what I want to change, and I'm not sorry for this, but if you're one of those stupid toxic people that that will be like that way, who think like, oh, you should be grateful for your dad, like dude, like shut the fuck up. Like no one is going to love their parents. No one is going to love the parents the same way as like another parent, because we like, let's admit, we've dealt with toxic people at some point in our lives. Some of us try not to, but honestly, I'm gonna be honest, there will be some people toxic in their own lives, and I'll be honest, I have done a few things, but it doesn't make me a toxic person. Like yes, I've had my moments where I've hated people in school. So, like I kind of like openly admitted that I hated this and that person. But at the end of the day, we all have our problems, because I just, like, some people would tell me, they're like, oh, no one hated you. And I'm like, you would be surprised on how much hate I was given. And then I have another friend who's like, you shouldn't even care about what people hate. I'm like, you don't have to care what others say to acknowledge that people hate you. He's like, I don't care about that. I'm like, you don't have to, but at least know that there are people that hate you, and some will want to do something. But I just feel like I just feel like yes, there are people who are toxic in our own lives. You know, they're going to say how much they hate one another. Like I've hated people. I've admitted to people that I hate them to their face. But at least I'm not to the point like where I'm going to, be that way with them. And if anything, like I'll admit, like I have done a few, I've done a few mistakes that kind of traumatized people, like out of the blue, I've admitted to a few people a while back that I viciously attacked a security guard because he was provoking me, and because of a lot of because of the aftermath being so graphic, I'm sure he was traumatized by it, and that's what's scary, because that's not how I always wanted to represent myself, because my dad was pretty abusive at some point in a few points in our lives. So, and I'll admit, the security guard was provoking me indeed, and harassing and provoking me indeed. But there's a side of me where I was like, oh shit, I felt like I viciously attacked him. Like he was bleeding and he was just shaking. And that's probably kind of like, it's very scary when you were in an abusive relationship and you take it out on, and it kind of comes towards someone who is just a passing by stranger, and I'll admit, like that was like almost 10 years ago. So even if someone had reported it, it would have been invalid, especially now, because because I because ah, it's just I just don't allow anyone to hurt me, and because I stood up towards I stand up towards to my dad, and I stood up for my sister too, because she was being attacked by my dad, and so, and it's very scary because I feel like the damage was kind of done, because, and I'm afraid to snap, because if I snap at a wrong time, a person could get killed, or at least completely traumatized, and it's like I don't want to be the one to cause someone to do that. Like even if like when I'm being provoked, I just don't allow anybody to hurt me. Some people say like you should walk away, and I'm like, dude, you don't know my situation. Like you don't know how I feel when someone is going to attack me. I'm going to defend myself, and you can't tell me otherwise. You are so it's yeah, so what's it called? It's very I just wish that people could, understand what I'm coming from, but most people aren't going to understand, which is pretty dumb, because we all deal with PTSD. We deal with how we react to things in our own ways, and I'll admit, I did feel a little bad about what I've done, but even though I wasn't even 18 at the time, and the fact that he wasn't killed, and plus even if he was, it would not have been first degree murder. So, and because and then on top of that, because I was a teenager at the time, I wouldn't have been in jail for the rest of my life. I would not have been, because under Maryland law, being 16 is when you're tried as an adult, unless like you're tried as an adult for certain terms, like if you're unless it's first degree murder or sexual assault, you probably wouldn't be tried as an adult. So you're mostly tried as that if you do all that stuff. And because, well, but then again, he probably wasn't killed, but I did feel really bad about it. So and it's like the abuse can come back at anyone, like even if it's a stranger. And it's like we and I'm honestly, I'll admit, I'm a little afraid to do that. And if I was viciously attacking someone, it's more like, if people think that they're going to intervene with me, I'm just gonna let everyone know right now that if I inter if you attempt to intervene, it's like you're going to fail like miserably, because if someone interferes with my dark side, they can get attacked as well, and there's hardly any stopping for it. So if I was viciously attacking someone, best to it's just best to let the trauma just go away on its own. Let the dark side go away on its own, because and I know it's hard for people to see the pain someone I'm giving someone, but it's for everyone else's own safety. Don't interfere, because it's going to traumatize you as well. So that's another thing that I'm kind of worried about, because if someone interferes and they get attacked too, and they see another fight down the street, and they try to interfere, they're afraid to do it. So that's why I warn people to not, interfere on my dark side. So it's kind of best to just let the person that I'm attacking get hurt on his own. And it's like there's no stopping me until it's too late. So, and that's another thing that I kind of dealt with my dad. Like all of this trauma wasn't necessarily just from my dad, but my middle school too. So mainly my middle school, my dad was more of the person who kind of has this harsh discipline, which I kind of give in to a few people as the years went by, and possibly can still do it to this day, because I just don't tolerate anybody trying to do anything to me. Like, I just don't allow it. You can express how much you hate me all you want. I don't care if you hate me, because I can hate you too. It's you can say whatever the fuck you want to say about me, but I'm not the type of person that you want to put your hands on. Like, I don't allow that. And some people say, like, people are allowed to do whatever they want. I'm like, not with hurting me. And that's the thing. My dark side is just so powerful, to the point like there's no stopping it. So 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 you have to really it's just, you just don't want to trigger my dark side. And I do feel bad that I'm kind of this way due to my dad and my middle school. My dad, in a way, is because he's given us harsh disciplines. My dad has been slightly physical. He's yelled a lot. Yeah. And then my middle school, the only thing that I got from middle school is like pretty, like, probably really, like, critical slash severe violence. So, and I'll admit, like, let's just say that the violence that I've given can be passed for something that happens in a horror movie. So, and I do feel bad about it, because because the stuff that I have done could have led me to jail, and I haven't I was never held accountable for any of the stuff that I've done. And even though I should have I should have had some time, can't even I can't even turn myself in for stuff that's happened, especially if it's a long time ago. And that's another thing, is like, you can't, like, I can't even turn myself to the cops because for one, I'm an anti-hero. I don't think it's the best solution, because sometimes you're even convicted for something that you didn't even do. And that's another thing that people that I would plead the fifth if I really needed to. And because, so that's the thing, I don't want to turn to the cops for it. And luckily I have a therapist, who can tell me, who I can tell about a few things. And it's like, when it comes to, see, that's the thing when it comes to therapists. Legally, they're not allowed to tell the police that you killed or viciously attacked someone, because by law, the therapists are not allowed to discuss what's happened inside the office. If it has already been done, you have to, you have to just kind of, I don't know, like, it's just a very complicated thing, because like I said, I'm changing my last name. I'm changing both my last name my last names to DeLeon/Gonzalez, and I'm also changing my middle name too. And although my mom gave me my middle name, I just wanted to change it because I don't really like it. And I really wish people could understand how I feel about my name. And yeah, and I mean, I'll admit, Brandon is a very cool name for someone who's mixed with white and Hispanic. So, I'm grateful that I have my, and that's another thing that one of the only things I'm grateful for my dad is like, although my dad is like my biggest friend of me, he's actually given me a pretty good name. So I'll admit that. So yeah, but I hope everyone understands what I mean about all the stuff that I've dealt with, especially abuse, and the fact that it can be taken on someone else without even, like, while even, like, being provoked. It's like, but I'll discuss more of the PTSD in a later vlog. But I hope all of you understand where I'm coming from for the last name changing. It's not something that I really wanted to do, but I have to. So, but thank you for watching, and hope this video gives you a better idea on how I want to change my last name. So, till then, see you later.